Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. This is biology session. You are watching body movements. So we have successfully completed the lesson. So in today's class, let us discuss the questions which appeared from this chapter in the previous Olympiads and other competitive exams. Okay, before going to that, let us have a quick review of key points. What is a joint, children? What is a joint? A joint is a point where two or more bones meet, isn't it? Joints allow different degrees of movement. So based on their movements, joints are classified based upon their structure and kinds of movements which they permit. There are three main types of joints. What are they? Immovable joints, imperfect movable joints, and perfect movable joints, or freely movable joints. So movable joints are also called synovial joints. Synovial joint has a synovial or joint cavity, which means a space between articulating bones. Synovial joints are further classified according to the movements they permit. The main types of movable joints are ball and socket joints, hinge joints, gliding joints, pivot joint, saddle joints, and ellipsoid joints. Okay, so where is a ball and socket joint present? Ball and socket joint is a type of movable joint which allows movement in all directions. It is present in the shoulder and hip joints. Okay, hinge joint. Hinge joint is a type of synovial joint which allows movement in one direction only. It is present in the elbow and knee and between the phalanges of digits and other type. Okay, they are all this type. Pivot joint. Pivot joint is a synovial joint in which one of the two bones is fixed and the other rotates over it. Example, head joint and the joint between the radius and ulna. Okay. Gliding joint. What is gliding joint? Gliding joint is a synovial joint in which the ends of one bone glides over the surface of the part of other bone. Okay, so this type of joint you can find in gliding joints. These are present in the wrist. You can see here, wrist. Okay, and ankle here, and the sternum, clavicle. Okay, here the clavicle bones. This type of gliding joints are present. Saddle joint between the carpals and radius permit the movement in two planes at right angles to each other. And we also studied about the movement in animals, body movement in animals. What are the types of movements which we have studied in the, what are the organs used for the movement in animals also we have studied. For example, amoeba. Amoeba uses its pseudopodia for its movement. Birds use its legs and wings. Cockroach use its wings and legs for walking. Euglena is again a protozoan, uses its flagellum. Earthworm uses its setae or muscles. Fish uses the myotome muscles and fins. Hydra uses its tentacles. Snail moves with the help of its muscular foot. These are all some of the locomotory organs in animals. And if you take the snakes, what is the movement, type of movement in the snake? Slithering movement. Snakes slither on the ground with the help of its long backbone and the muscles attached to it. Birds have lightweight, attached to the strong muscles, flight muscles, which help them to fly. Whereas the hind limbs of the birds are modified to walk and perch. Forelimbs are modified into wings. Hind limbs are modified to walk and perch. The slightly movable joints are called as amphiarthrous joints. Example, the joints formed by adjacent vertebrae contain intervertebral discs formed by cartilage. Okay, the immovable joints are cynotrous joints present in the skull. Okay, children, these are some of the key points which covered in the lesson, and some of them are new. So let us proceed. The first question: which joint allows movement in one direction only? Ball and socket joint, hinge joint, pivot joint, gliding joint. It is the hinge joint which allows the movement only in one direction. Okay. So which body system holds our body upright? Circulatory system, muscular system, nervous system, skeleton system. The meaning of holds our body upright means position. Okay, the support is given by the skeleton system. So which characteristic feature helps a human being to walk upright? Their head bones are light. They have two legs. They do not have tail. Their backbone holds the body up vertically. Okay, it is the right answer, D. Their backbone holds the body weight, the body up vertically. Which organs are protected by the rib cage? Heart and lungs, liver and heart, kidneys and lungs, stomach and intestine. Heart and lungs. So which joint is present at the knee and elbow? Ball and socket joint, pivot joint, hinge joint, fixed joint. Hinge joint. Which of the following have muscles and bones but moves by contraction and expansion of the body? Snail, snake, earthworm, crab. Come on, children. It is the snake. Isn't it? Yes. So which organism have jointed appendages to move? Insects, snail, earthworm, snake. Insects have jointed appendages. So which joint allows the movement in all directions? Hinge joint, pivot joint, ball and socket joint, gliding joint. It's a ball and socket joint which moves in all directions. So which two body systems most directly cause the arm to bend? Skeleton and muscular system, reproductive and circulatory system, respiratory and excretory system, nervous system and digestive system. It is a skeleton and muscular system which mostly directly they cause the movement or help in the bending of arm. Which part of the body is protected by the vertebral column? Spinal cord, rib cage, brain, heart. Spinal cord is protected by vertebral column, backbone. So which parts of the fish helps to move forward? Hands and fins, legs and fins, gills and fins, fins and tail. It is the fins and tail helps it to move. The bones of the bird are hollow and light, narrow and strong, hollow, strong, narrow and light. It's a hollow and light. Which joint is present at the hip region? Hinge joint, pivot joint, pectoral joint, pelvic joint. It is called pelvic joint. It is nothing but the ball and socket joint which is present in the hip region. So which part of the skeleton is present in this external ear? Cartilage, soft bones, fixed joints, ligaments. It is the cartilage or external ear pinna is made up of the cartilage. Which organs help a fish to swim in water? Scales, streamline body, fins, all of them. Okay, all of these help them to swim. So which of these help a caterpillar and earthworm to move? By expansion contraction of their body with hard shells, with exoskeleton, with endoskeleton. It is the by expansion and contraction of their body they will move. So which joint is present in the neck region? Pivot joint, fixed joint, ball and socket joint, hinge joint. It is the pivot joint. So which organism has streamlined body covered with scales, a swim bladder and a flexible vertebral column attached to muscles? Bird, earthworm, snail and fish. It is the fish. So which one of the organism membranes secretes a watery fluid that lubricates and cushions the joint? Tendons, synovial membrane, ligaments and cartilage. It is the synovial membrane which secretes the fluid called synovial fluid. Okay, and the joints are called synovial joints or movable joints. Okay. So which one of the following bones is the only movable portion of the skull? Maxilla, mandible, frontal bone, zygomatic bone. It is the mandible, lower jaw. It is the only movable portion of the skull. Dash connects the ends of the bones together. Ligaments, tendons, muscles, cartilage. It is the ligament, nothing but the joints. Okay, two bones are joined together by ligaments. So which kind of joint? The sutures of cranium is essentially immovable. Cartilaginous joint, fibrous joint, hinge joint, ball and socket joint. It is the fibrous joints which are present in the skull, immovable. So which joint occurs between the humerus and radio ulna? Okay, humerus and radio ulna. It is a hinge joint. Okay, in the elbow region. So which is the largest synovial joint of the human body? Knee joint, shoulder joint, elbow joint, hip joint. So largest synovial joint is the hip joint, the ball and socket joint, which is present in the hip region. Where is the ball and socket joint found? Shoulder, atlas and axis, atlas and head, knee, shoulder. Okay. The total number of bones in the hind limbs. So each limb is made up of how many bones? 30, 15, 20, 24. 30 bones are present in each limb. So how many bones are there in the axial part of a human skeleton? The axial part of the human skeleton. Okay. So it consists of nearly 180 bones, 120 bones, 210 bones and 80 bones. 80 bones. Okay. The total number of bones in the human skull are 30, 22, 25, 106, 22. There are dash of ribs in the human body. 20 pairs, 10 pairs, 12 pairs, 8 pairs. 12 pairs. The joint between the atlas and axis is ball and socket joint, saddle joint, pivot joint, angular joint. It is the pivot joint. Neck region. The bones that attached the arm to the axial skeleton means composed of clavicle and scapula is called cranium, pelvic girdle, pectoral girdle, scapula. It is the pectoral girdle. Okay, shoulder girdle. Next, the synovial joint occurs between tail vertebrae, humerus and ulna, two skull bones, two vertebrae. It is between the humerus and ulna there is a synovial movable joint. Synovial joint is pivot joint, ball and socket joint, hinge joint. All of these are movable joints, synovial joints. Okay, children. So these are the first part of the Olympiad exercise. So more we will see in the next class. Okay. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.